The sky over eastern Afghanistan was pale and washed out, the kind of morning where the temperature hovered low, but everyone knew the heat would arrive later like a hammer. The forward operating base, known as FOB Trinity, sat among harsh terrain, dry valleys, jagged ridges, scattered compounds made of sun-baked mud. The base was not large, but it was hardened. HESCO walls stacked thick, entry control points reinforced with T-walls, watchtowers manned around the clock with M240B medium machine guns mounted and ready. Inside the Tactical Operations Center, screens flickered with satellite feeds and Blue Force tracking icons representing patrol positions. Staff shifted from workstation to workstation, checking intel briefs, weather reports, SIGACT logs, significant activities recorded over the past 24 hours. Near the radio rack sat Elena Hart, her posture straight, headset around her neck, tablet open beside her. Most on base knew her only as a civilian interpreter. Contractor badge, beige uniform, no rank insignia. She spoke fluent Dari, Pashto, Arabic, and had enough Urdu to get through specific cross-border discussions. She was precise with language. No added tone, no emotion, just clean translation. She was good enough that commanders trusted her with meetings involving tribal elders and local intelligence assets. Situations where one wrong phrasing could either secure cooperation or start hostility. N01 questioned why she never flinched during rocket alarms. N01 asked why she always scanned entrances reflexively. N01 noticed scars faded under her sleeve. And no one asked why she sometimes mouthed Ranger. Cadence under her breath when she thought no one was watching. Chapter 1. Mission brief. Inside the briefing room, Alpha Company gathered. Men adjusted ballistic plates, tightened helmet straps, checked rifle slings. The room smelled of CLP oil, dry sand, and worn nylon gear. Captain Reed stepped forward, holding the assignment file. "All right, listen up." His tone was clipped, efficient. Mission: convoy escort for resupply run to checkpoint Sierra along Route Copper. A few soldiers exchanged quick glances. Route Copper wasn't popular at IDs. Ambush reports, sniper engagement history, insurgent movement patterns along old Russian supply trails. Reed continued. Rules of engagement remain unchanged. PID before engagement, no freelancing. Threat level is elevated. He tapped a map projected on the screen. 3 MRAPs with V-hole protection up front. 2 Humvees trailing. Logistics trucks center column. Movement speed limited by terrain. Expect slow roll through choke points. He paused. Checkpoint Sierra requested a cultural liaison due to recent issues with local security forces. Elena will accompany Vehicle 2. Multiple heads turned that a civilian linguist outside the wire wasn't unusual. But pairing her with a resupply convoy along a hostile route was not standard unless needed. Elena didn't react. She simply nodded once. Reed added, "She's to stay with the unit, follow all commands, and remain inside the vehicle unless given explicit order." Sergeant First Class Mason, convoy commander, looked toward her as he pulled gloves tight. "You ever done a convoy on a high-risk MSR?" he asked. "Yes," she replied calmly. "Motion sickness." "No." "You freeze under fire?" Her eyes met his level and steady. "No." Mason gave a short nod. Not approval, not disbelief, just acknowledgement. Chapter 2. Pre-deployment checks. The motor pool became a controlled storm of motion, soldiers conducting pre-combat inspections. Every vehicle received checks. Tire, PS armor, bolts, turret, traverse, and elevation weapon systems function. Test Viper. One's gunner cycled the M2 Browning .50 cal, racking the charging handle twice, standard redundancy to ensure a solid seat on the belt. Viper 2 ran checks on a MK-19 automatic grenade launcher mounted turret. The gunner verified feed tray alignment, headspace, and timing. Viper 3 had an M240B, belted, barrel-seated, bolt-locked to rear. Inside her MRAP, Elena adjusted comms harness straps. Staff Sergeant Carter sat beside her. He glanced at her sidearm. "You know how to use it, a 9? He asked. "Yes," she replied, not defensive, not cocky, just factual. He nodded, tightening his plate carrier straps. "Good. Hope you don't need it." Chapter 3. Rolling out, Mason's voice crackled through encrypted radios. All units. Radio check. Acknowledged by call sign. One at a time. Viper 1 lime. Viper 2 green. Viper 3 solid. Guardian logistics online. The gate rolled open with a deep mechanical grind. Inside FOB Trinity, Elena was a linguist. Outside the wire, she reverted to something she thought she'd left behind. A soldier who never quite stopped being one. The convoy cleared the outer defenses and entered open terrain. Chapter 4. Route copper. The terrain shifted from compact sand to uneven washouts. The MRAP suspension absorbed the worst of the shaking, but every bump still traveled through steel, plating, and frame. Turrets scanned full arcs, gunners keeping steady sweeping motion, never stopping, never backtracking predictably. Inside the convoy network, routine status checks continued. Viper 1 clear. Viper 2 rolling. Eyes out. Maintain spacing, no bunching. Spacing was life. A clustered convoy meant a bigger kill radius if an IED went off. Elena watched the environment. Not with fear, with training. Patterns mattered. A compound door open when normally shut, a road barren of civilians. A bad sign. Freshly disturbed soil. Loose wires near culverts. Improvised markers. Stacked stones, plastic bags, fabric strips. Carter noticed her scanning. Seen something? He asked. No. Just building situational picture. He stared. Not how most civilians talked. Chapter 5. The warning sign. 22 minutes into the route, Elena stiffened. A group of locals stood near a well, but they weren't acting normal. No guabbing. No acknowledging the American vehicles. No curiosity. They were stiff, eyes following the convoy too carefully. Then she saw it. A boy, maybe 12, running, not toward the convoy, away from the road. At the same time, a dog barked in sustained rhythmic pattern. Not territorial. Alerting. Her tone was immediate and controlled. Possible initiation indicator. Civilian withdrawal pattern. Carter relayed instantly. Viper 2 to convoy. Civilian behavior abnormal. Possible trigger prep. Recommend reduced speed and elevated scan. Mason responded. Copy. All Vipers. Eyes sharp. Do not stop unless confirmed obstacle. The convoy slowed slightly, not enough to trap the vehicles, just enough to allow turret gunners more time to scan. 30 seconds later, Elena saw another marker. A stack of gray stones placed too deliberately beside a culvert. She spoke again, voice low but firm. Left side marker, possible IED reference. Carter didn't hesitate. Viper 2 to lead. Possible IED marker at 11 o'clock, 20 meters ahead. Copy. Viper 1 immediately repositioned, shifting right to adjust sweep angle. Then, the ground shook. A blast detonated behind the convoy. Not ahead, but a secondary charge. Pre-placed to catch trailing vehicles or make the convoy think the threat was front-oriented. The explosion kicked up dirt and violent shockwave. The gunner in the last Humvee ducked instinctively. Contact rear. Contact rear. Possible coordinated ambush. The convoy tightened formation, not clustered, just tactically contracted for defensive posture. Mason issued command with zero hesitation. Weapons free once PID confirmed. Vipers mark positions. Chapter 6. The ambush. Small arms fire erupted from the ridgeline. Single shot at first, then bursts. Rounds pinged against armor. Sharp metallic impacts. The .50 cal and Viper 1 responded first. 3 controlled bursts, shockwaves thundering through the terrain. Viper 1 engaging. Then the MK-19 and Viper 2 began cycling. Thump, thump, thump. Grenades arcing in clean trajectories before impact sent dirt and debris flying. Enemy fire intensified. They were not amateurs. Coordinated fire lanes. Overlapping positions. Trigger discipline. This was planned. Carter shouted. Keep your head down. Do not expose unless instructed. Elena stayed low, but her eyes were tracking movement through the ballistic glass. Then she saw a muzzle flash. Too close, too aligned with the convoy flank. She spoke sharply. Shooter 6 o'clock, low ground behind rock, 15 meters. Carter checked, saw muzzle smoke, relayed instantly. Close contact, 15 meters rear left. The turret swung. M240B roaring in sustained burst. Target neutralized. Chapter 7. The unexpected variable A vehicle ahead jerked suddenly. Its wheels sinking. Not mechanical failure, a command wire IED. Pressure-triggered delay collapse. The MRAP tilted sideways, still functional but immobile. Viper 3 down. Mobility kill. Repeat, mobility kill. The convoy could not stay static. Static meant death. Mason gave the order. Establish defensive perimeter. Return controlled fire. Elena, stay in vehicle. But something shifted. Enemy fire pattern changed. Suppressive fire aimed at the disabled vehicle. They wanted prisoners or bodies. Carter swore. We need overwatch and someone outside to guide blast-resistant tow rig. Elena's breathing stayed normal. Measured, precise. Take turret fire off that position, she said. I can get them out. Carter blinked. You're a linguist. She met his stare with complete calm. I'm also RASP qualified. Your call. He froze for half a second, processing, then grab rifle. Stay behind armor. Move only on my signal. She didn't smile, didn't nod, just chambered around. And for the first time in 8 years, Elena Hart stepped into combat. Chapter 8. Fire and movement. The MRAP door swung open. Heat. Dust. The smell of explosives and hot brass. She hugged the side of the vehicle, staying in the blind spot of potential sniper lanes. Mason shouted from ahead. Tow prep team move. Suppress ridge. Watch crossfire. The .50 cal thundered overhead. Elena sprinted low, controlled strides, feet hitting ground silent as possible even in chaos. She reached the disabled MRAP. Inside, 2 injured, 1 unconscious. The gunner was alive but bleeding from fragmentation cuts. Status? She asked. Staff Sergeant Hale blinked, disoriented. Mobility kill. Axle compromised. Patterson out cold. We can't move him. She knelt beside the unconscious soldier, checked breathing. Stable. She signaled medic direction. Enemy fire shifted again, now adjusting for range and pattern. They were trying to walk around into the recovery team. In panic. No hesitation. Elena switched to command frequency. Viper actual, this is hard. Enemy coordinate fire, adjusting pattern. Likely spotter active. Scanning. Silence. Then Mason. Copy. Confirmed you're on comms. Affirm. She scanned ridges, movement. Just a flicker, scope glint. Spotter, 2 o'clock, ridge edge, 50 meters above scrub line. Before Mason relayed, the MK-19 had already rotated. MK-19, Sendhi rounds, 3 volleys. The grenades landed with heavy thuds, second one direct. Spotter eliminated. Enemy fire faltered. Not stopped, but disrupted. Chapter 9. Convoy Extraction Protocol Tow Team finally hooked disabled MRAP. Mason issued final command. All units, break contact, bounding withdrawal, maintain suppressive fire until clear. Elena helped load the injured soldier into the working MRAP. Once secured, she boarded last vehicle. The convoy accelerated, controlled, not panicked. Rounds continued striking armor, but formation discipline held. Finally, distance gained. Enemy fire faded. Then silence, except engines. Chapter 10. Aftermath. Back inside FOB Trinity, the convoy rolled through the gate. Medics immediately took Patterson. Weapons cleared, magazines seated safe, systems powered down. Mason approached Elena. His tone was not friendly, not hostile, just assessing. You said you weren't combat experienced. She replied calmly. I said I hadn't seen combat. Training isn't experience. He nodded slowly. You kept multiple people alive today. She shrugged slightly. That was the job. He smirked. You ever think about coming back in uniform? She didn't answer immediately. Her eyes scanned the horizon. The desert, the dust, the distant hills. I never stopped being who I was, she finally said. I just stopped being allowed to use it. Mason exhaled. Well, today we used it. She nodded once. Then walked away, quiet, unnoticed by most. But every soldier on that convoy knew. She wasn't just a translator. She was a ranger, whether the uniform still said so or not.